Story 1. For me, Sideways is the creator who makes long-form music theory videos about musicals and movies. He hasn't posted since his video on Cats over 4 years ago. He mentioned that he was tired of the copyright claims and people stealing his videos. I miss his content. Story 2. JCS Crime and Psychology started a whole genre, and his videos are amazing. I hope wherever he is happy and doing well. Story 3. It might not fit the bill, but Paint is not completely dead. He just hasn't been very active. I still remember his Disney parody videos and the hours I spent listening to them on repeat. Actually, let me go reminisce. Story 4. Lindsay Ellis. I didn't always agree with her, but her perspective on media was interesting and thoughtful. Her videos were always well put together and fun to watch. Story 5. Community Channel was one of the first channels I ever subscribed to a long time ago. I remember that she stopped making videos for mental health reasons and has been doing well since. I really hope she got a job in a writer's room because she is very funny and could write some great television. Story 6. Every Frame is a Painting. The channel offers informative and insightful content that I will revisit. They returned for a brief period recently but made it clear that it was only temporary. Story 7. Gray Still Plays is still uploading, but it's mostly about Grand Theft Auto 6 and mobile games. I miss the days of BeamNG and Spleens the Cat. Story 8. Blentex, Will It Blend? Many late-night dorm beers were enjoyed while watching iPhone 3GS get pulverized. Story 9. Bill Wirtz released 2 of the best YouTube videos of all time, followed by some unusual content, and then disappeared. Story 10. Up until about last week, I would have said Ask a Ninja, but like a ninja, he appeared out of nowhere. He hadn't uploaded for years and suddenly started posting videos again. Story 11. Filthy Frank, but at the same time, I feel happy he found success in music. Jack Black's gaming channel. H3H3 from the Vape Nation era of videos. I always loved his collaborations with other content creators. His channel isn't dead, but I would say the content he creates is controversial these days and definitely not as popular. Story 12. The Creature started as a group of friends playing games together and having fun. Eventually, it evolved into a corporation, and people were either let go or left on their own until it ultimately collapsed. Story 13. The Creatures and Cow Chop were a significant part of my life as I grew from middle school into adulthood. They feel like friends to me. I think about their content almost daily, and I truly miss them a lot. Story 14. James and Mike Mondays. I know he's still doing things, and he has a valid reason for not doing what he used to. However, I miss the often humorous jokes about absurd topics. The other friends he games with have different vibes, and I'm not insulting them. I just know James and Mike differently. The Atari porn episode is one of the greatest things ever made. Story 15. The team behind Songify the News and the Antoine Dobson song, Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife, created Dame Drop's super official food reviews and cult moo, particularly deep-fried what? Story 16. The Completionist had a unique niche. While what happened with his charity was questionable, and I will not watch him anymore because of it, I still miss it. Story 17. Jenna Marbles. I will never forgive the people who drove her off the internet. I am happy to see her and Julian are still doing well, though. Story 18. Your favorite Martian had a unique charm before it became overly serious. I would like to hear more content similar to the Smithersburns love song. Story 19. I miss being able to enjoy Game Grumps before learning that they may not be good people. Story 20. I know the webcomic is still going strong, but I miss the Saturday morning breakfast cereal theater skits they created for a while. Story 21. Jenna Marbles. It's hard to believe it has been almost 5 years since she uploaded her last video. I hope she and her dogs are happy and thriving. Story 22. MXR Plays faced a ban due to unforeseen circumstances. Meanwhile, other individuals can re-upload their videos without any issues. Additionally, they cannot report this situation to YouTube because their channel no longer exists. It is quite frustrating. Story 23. Fitz Thistlewitz loved his style of humor. I still go back and watch the chess review video occasionally. I wish he had made more content. Also, Technoblade. Story 24. Google Translate sings twisted translations. I understand why Melinda wanted to end it. I truly do. However, I would have loved to see her perform a version of Espresso. Story 25. Leafy is here in the 2016 era. He was one of my first crushes, and when he wasn't being difficult or making fun of children, he could be funny. His takedown of Onision was amazing, and he was great at storytelling, even if they are allegedly exaggerated. However, his return in 2020 was not very good, in my opinion, as his whole interaction with Pokimane was essentially just, I don't personally want to date her, which is not a valid reason to criticize someone. Story 26. The earliest episodes of the Lonely Girl 15 YouTube videos were disappointing when I learned it was all a scam and a lie, although I think I should have known. Story 27. Tom Scott had an amazing run, and I understand why he retired from his main channel. However, I really miss the random, super cool places he would showcase. Story 28. Sugar Pine 7 captured a moment in YouTube history after SourceFed that evokes a deeply nostalgic feeling for me. I still sing the whoa whoa, let's get peas. Story 29. I miss Paul from Mitten Squad. He basically started the challenge run through the genre with his Skyrim and Fallout videos, and his sense of humor was outstanding. Alcoholism is a serious issue. Story 30. A gaming channel called Mitten Squad featured content centered around silly challenges involving Fallout or Skyrim. Imagine completing the entire game using only a soup spoon as a weapon. It's heartbreaking that the poor guy drank himself to death. Story 31. Jenna Marbles, Bon Appetit from early COVID-19 days, Hannah Hart, Mamrie Hart, and Grace Helbig, the super amazing channel. Story 32. Call me crazy, but I really am happy for PewDiePie as he seems very happy. However, I find his content now to be pretty boring and corny, which is a shame because he was genuinely funny in some of his older videos. Story 33. Onision. I know he is an awful person. I think he is funny and entertaining, or was, I should say. I stopped watching his videos regularly when he started playing the victim constantly. That is what he does, but he went overboard. He was blaming a girl who was 18 or 19 at the time, even though he was obviously the one in the wrong. It was repulsive and irritating. It seemed like he wasn't making funny videos anymore. He was just lying and creating drama. Apparently, I am not the only one who grew tired of his repetition, as he started losing both fans and detractors. People just weren't interested anymore and stopped posting about him, and both his fan base and opposition appear to be nearly inactive. Of course, most people dislike him, but most do not seem to post about him these days. They focus on other things and probably never think of him. Story 34. Titley's Busy Kitchen. I miss her sweet little cooking videos so much, but years ago she just vanished. I hope wherever she is, she's okay. Story 35. Why are none of you linking? OP wants a YouTube channel. The least you can do is link to it. Story 36. The channel Cynic Snacks emerged during COVID restrictions, featuring humorous videos that covered bizarre movies and film trends. However, they abruptly stopped posting and removed several of their videos. They had a Patreon account with the last post dated later than their final video, but it is restricted to members only. I imagine it contains some sort of announcement. Story 37. The Thin Wall Challenge. A man named Ryan lived in an apartment building with very thin walls. He would attempt to complete unusual and complex challenges before his neighbors finished theirs. One example involved wearing a rat maze around his neck and trying to solve it with a ball. The reward for victory was Space Jam on DVD. Unfortunately, he lost and received Space Jam on VHS instead. Story 38. Tuapri used to create really funny videos, but he has removed all of them and now makes daily fitness influencer vlogs. Many people are upset, but others have accepted the change and enjoy the new direction of his channel. However, his subscriber count is declining. Story 39. Mike Diva. He used to create the weirdest content, but his channel now uploads only about one video every 5 years. Granted, it's mainly because he has become very successful directing Saturday Night Live and major music videos. but I still miss his unique style. Story 40. Terry Davis and Gary the Goat have already been mentioned. I also miss Drugslab. They are controversial but not inactive. Story 41. Jeff Major has kids and is still active in the Discord community but hasn't streamed in a while. He is definitely responsible for my sense of humor and some of my interests. Story 42. I enjoyed Slamico's Minecraft animations in the past, but many of them have been copyrighted due to the music. Additionally, Tom Scott has stopped making videos. He may return someday, but he posted a goodbye video. Story 43. I loved Homemade Everything. Mark was such a genuine and funny guy. His channel might not have been nearly as big as his brother's, but it was always my favorite to watch. Cancer is a tough battle. Story 44. Kevin T. Tom's most dedicated fans have managed to acquire 99% of his videos and compile them into a downloadable folder. Story 45. Threadbanger. I know why they aren't uploading anymore and I totally understand, but I miss those days. Story 46. I remember in high school when my friend showed me FPS Russia. We were big fans of Call of Duty, and we found it interesting how he compared the physics of weapons in video games to reality. For a while, he went silent. I had no idea why until my curiosity during the pandemic lockdown prompted me to search for what happened to him. It was quite a crazy story. Story 47. It has been 10 years. I hope he is doing well. Story 48. Popular MMOs. Between him and Jen, I think it has been at least 2 years since either one last made any videos. Story 49. The Blackjack Army was a channel about a man who wore glasses designed to secretly record him while gambling in casinos, claiming to be a card counter. I did not believe him, but watching him do incredible things with wads of cash, which he probably borrowed, made me chuckle. Story 50. The channel just ended last week, but I will always miss Wisecrack's commentary and production quality. Story 51. Games repainted. The idea of replacing every texture in a game with custom textures submitted by fans sounds chaotic, and I loved every minute of it. Apparently, they stopped due to burnout, but being drawn into the entire gaming community /Drunk Wario /Vinny situation made things worse. Story 52. Vloggers, in general, are Westerners living in Japan who teach English and share their experiences online. While this practice continues today, approximately 18 years ago, many of them knew each other and would meet in person. I still follow a couple of them, although none of the ones I follow currently teach English. There are a few whom I haven't heard from in a long time. Unfortunately, one of them passed away at a very young age. Special mention goes to Meef, my favorite vlogger. Story 53. Williamism. He would walk around London, discussing history and occasionally going down the rabbit hole. Story 54. Jeff was a friendly young man who worked aboard a cargo ship. He produced well-made videos about life on a cargo ship, but it has been about 4 years since his last video. Collective Cadenza was a group of musicians, likely all studying for master's degrees in music, who created some incredibly entertaining music videos. They enjoyed a brief period of internet fame. Their last video was 10 years ago. Everyone knows Tom Scott. He stopped releasing videos on his main channel a year ago. Most people have heard of Lindsay Ellis, but she faced significant online harassment and quit out of frustration. She made an in-depth video about Robin Williams and Aladdin and how it changed animation. Masahid Mizuji created a video while spending the night at a nearly empty airport, and she went viral, but her fame quickly faded within a month. I've got more, but I'm tired. Story 55. Ashley from Best Dressed created fashion videos that excited me about choosing clothes in the morning. She seemed effortlessly funny and felt like a relatable internet big sister to my middle school self. She has other social media accounts, but her last activity on YouTube was in December 2020. I miss her videos and hope she is doing well. Story 56. Hello everyone, this is Yamamesh here. I think he is still active, just not as much as he used to be. I didn't follow the drama and I don't care much for it. Story 57. Let's Play with Chban. He was Australian and incredibly funny. I believe he now works for ESPN. Story 58. There are quite a few, but the one I missed the most was Eugene Yackel. He created hilarious videos, the best of which seem to have been deleted. I never forgive content creators for that. I hope he is making people laugh wherever he is now. Story 59. They created many videos where they put themselves through immense pain, bathed in something absurd, or built something ridiculous. They faced considerable backlash when emergency services were called after Jay cemented his head in a microwave in 2017. But that didn't deter them. They later buried themselves underground in an old car and pursued many other dangerous video concepts. I found their content hilarious, and their run of videos from 2016 to 2019 is unlikely to be matched for me. The fact that they have West Midlands accents makes it even funnier. Unfortunately, in early 2020, they posted a video of a fake driving lesson where they flipped the car, swerved across the road, and damaged the vehicle while driving. The video was absolutely hilarious, and the driving instructor they hired never broke character. The issue was that they filmed this on real country lanes, meaning they broke several driving safety laws in the United Kingdom, even though there were no other cars in the video. They were arrested and their equipment was seized. It took some time to resolve the situation, and they temporarily had that video taken down. They filmed several other videos but eventually received temporary driving bans and were advised to stop making extreme content, or they could face prison sentences. Both Jay and Romel have since created content for their personal channels, but it doesn't compare, and it will never bring back the classic era of their content. It was probably time to move on anyway because while they had the occasional hit in the later days, their average videos became quite tame after the driving video, and some of the humor felt forced. It was wise for them to quit while they were ahead, but I will always miss the content they produced in the late 2010s. Story 60. It's not really inactive but more so forgotten how to basic. Their videos were absolutely unhinged, and I loved them. That channel was peak entertainment when I was in high school. I recently checked their channel, and they went from millions of views to only thousands, and their video format has changed drastically. I miss the pure chaos and joy that came from those videos. Story 61. Key of Awesome. Parodies have been one of my favorite aspects of the internet since the dial-up Napster days, and there have been many good ones. Sometimes when I sing a song, I accidentally slip into their lyrics instead. Story 62. Trinomortal. He tried to revive it to continue the Beat League series, but his heart wasn't in it anymore. It just became more cringeworthy until he gave up again. Story 63. Frank Yomk, known for his DayZ videos, still posts occasionally, but his content is no longer particularly interesting. Story 64. I miss many of those poor-quality Reddit text-to-speech channels on YouTube. They were not great, but the search algorithm on Reddit was not as effective as YouTube's, so that is what I watched. All the better ones have disappeared, and now the only options are those annoying YouTube Shorts versions with Minecraft parkour in the background. Story 65. A peculiar one for me is Paymony Wubby. While he is streaming on Twitch, that was not the focus of his YouTube channel. When I discovered him and subscribed to his channel, he was creating mini documentaries on unusual topics like healing wands and unsettling ASMR. I missed those. Story 66. Dankmas. All the videos were entertaining, but it turns out the creator has a whole video empire that is somehow better than just The Simpsons made into songs. Dank Pods and Garbage Time are fantastic, but sometimes I just need to jam out to Dental Plan. Story 67. Beauty content creators Mariah Leonard and Amy Serrano. I miss their YouTube content, but thankfully they both still use Instagram. Story 68. Total Biscuit, also known as Shoutcraft, was far and away the most interesting, charismatic, and honesty sports commentator, both then and now. Let's fight against cancer. Story 69. Gold Vision. About a decade ago, he started a gaming pacifist series that resonated with me during a significant shift in my worldview. He is still active, but aside from the comedy clips and skits, he has drifted away from the theme of resisting society's constant pull towards violence and conflict. Most of the recent serious content leans more towards spiritualism, making some videos feel reminiscent of a Zen cult. Story 70. Co's Quest. Early Minecraft videos became overwhelming for him, leading to his retirement due to the pressure. He came across as a genuinely nice person who never anticipated this level of success. Story 71. I was gonna say Ask a Ninja, but apparently he released a new video 2 weeks ago. What year is it? Story 72. I wonder if anyone here would even know who I am talking about when I refer to Neil Cicierega, also known as Lemon Demon. Story 73. All gas, no brakes. This is an incredible view of small-town, narrow-minded America that we normally don't see. It's unfortunate that Andrew Callahan was not a great person in his personal life. He was an outstanding journalist for that format. Story 74. Practical Folks. Drunk Disney was my favorite series on YouTube, and I am still disappointed that there hasn't been another video in 6 years and the channel became inactive 5 years ago. Story 75. I used to always watch popular MMOs and loved it. It is unfortunate what happened to the channel and how some of the content changed, especially near the end. I sometimes go back and watch some of their videos for old time's sake. Story 76. While I may disagree with Paul Harrell on numerous issues, it was obvious that he was a knowledgeable, thoughtful, intelligent person. His videos were thoughtfully produced, well-rounded, and based on data, not bias. I respected that deeply. Even though we would likely disagree on many topics, I always felt we could have meaningful conversations. I also respect how he handled his diagnosis and how considerate he was to his viewers and fans. It was the definition of grace under pressure. Very different, but I will also miss Demolition Ranch. That said, good for him for making that choice. If I could quit my career and spend more time with my daughter, I would do it in an instant. I will miss his content, but I will be happy that he has transcended the need to produce content. He has earned everything he has gained. Matt, well done. You've earned it. All the best to you and your family. Story 77. Neebs Gaming is still top tier. Don't get me wrong, but I still miss Thick 44, the Human Man Warrior. Neebs, Dora, and Simon are absolutely top tier. Don't misunderstand me, but Thick provided a balance and a level of humor that I still miss. Story 78. Dude created some excellent Let's Plays of classic PC and Nintendo games and provided entertaining commentary. The last upload was over 9 years ago, and I haven't heard anything about him since. I hope he's doing well. Story 79. Gabe Helmy has not posted on YouTube in about 2 years. He had over 600,000 subscribers. I'm not sure why he stopped, as I liked his sense of humor. It seemed like he was still trying to find his niche, but I think he could have gone much further. I recently saw him post on Instagram that his beloved cat, Kitty, who was a significant part of his channel, sadly passed away. It was a heartbreaking update and made me go back and watch some of his videos. I hope he is doing okay. Story 80. Stop having a boring life. A man named Rob used to make regular videos of a concrete build on Little Corn Island. He called the house Alta Vista. I used to watch while drinking my morning coffee. The channel seems to be gone now, but I often wonder how life turned out for him. Story 81. Darren Levy's funny Uber rides and Ryan is driving. Both channels have been inactive for a while. Story 82. Total Biscuit was a highly respected video game critic. He passed away from bowel cancer at the age of 33, leaving behind a wife and a child. Story 83. Key of Awesome created music parody videos that were not overly mean. Todd was incredible as Pitbull. I hope they are all doing well. I am unsure why they ended the channel. Story 84. Not a YouTube channel, well, it is now. My first real foray into the gaming community was Game Trailers as its own channel, which folded a few years ago. Everything I discovered about gaming came from them. Jeff Keithley thanks to GTTV, their live electronic entertainment expo coverage, and Screw Attack, including their top 10s and the Angry Video Game Nerd, as well as Hey Ash, Whatcha Playin'? The original creators on the site ended up starting their own channel called Easy Allies, which shocked me when I saw their reaction video for Resident Evil 7 on my feed randomly, and I realized who I was watching. Story 85. Barats and Burrita. I was convinced they would break through into the mainstream when they started making television pilots. Story 86. Live Prude Girls. I don't know why I like let's talk about something more interesting so much. I just do. Story 87. Ray William Johnson is not exactly a dead channel, but after he left Equals 3 in 2014, He gradually faded away and his content was never the same. Story 88. The key of awesome used to make hilarious parody videos, but channels dedicated to creating song parodies seem less common now. Story 89. Swedish Mealtime, Burgerpel and Thunder Humor. Thunder Humor shifted from creating YouTube content to developing video games. They are the creators of Voidigo and Repo. Story 90. Jero was a great storyteller during my childhood. He was one of the few who became successful without getting arrogant. Story 91. TJ Harlow, legendary builder of Antec 1200 PCs, went dark and his entire channel disappeared. Crushed my 2009 spirit. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.